everyone, it's Michi Hoyer here from Avid Chronic Racing, and today we're gonna have another episode of testing this Formula Sim racing car. But I hope before you start, oh dear, boring, it's ever that same again. Um, Recently, Formula Sim Racing Administration has announced a test race to take place. This the upcoming Sunday, 5 p.m. GMT. That will be the race start. I think the event starts about 4 p.m. GMT. So there's actually some kind of need to get some race preparation done, because this test race will also determine on the further development of the car. And yeah, therefore we will just go on doing a good setup here, doing some more testing, doing some more conversation and some more feedback on this car. Getting more used to it. So yes, I'm doing some Formula Sim racing again here on this show, but this time definitely has some more background stuff going on there. So there you go. That's why we are live here in that shape again. And yeah, it's just the game now will start to load. Probably it's gonna take a little longer because it's the first time I joined this again. Meanwhile, I'm ready to configure my little helping friend here, which is Dash Meter Pro. That's what I mostly use during the race, and it's gonna be ever so important for next year. That's how it looks like on my phone, and yeah, it kind of works very, very well. Like it's in service on my phone for like I think 1.5 years, and really making good use of it, since it provides you a lot of information. Something like track map could replace it. Nevertheless, it got some very nice flashing RPM lights on and stuff, so it's definitely very helpful there. I just quickly configure it to a certain amount of RPM to show, since those V6 engines have kinda different way of driving style. Really have to shift at certain points and stuff to be really competitive or to be really on the edge here. Hey Luke, hey Adam, whoever is there. I know you guys share some YouTube channels, so I'm gonna be live on the official FSR server. If you scroll back in the video, you saw that I've just joined the Formula Sim Racing.net server 1, on which I will primarily do a lot of testing now, a lot of talking on the mod, a lot of expectations towards Sunday race, and I hope you guys join me here in the conversation, join me here in the server testing, give suggestions on whatever you like, and then I hope we do have some fun racing, as I see some Formula Sim racing guys already on the server here. So it's Robin Panza, Mirko Lupini, and Joao Pitaes, all average chronic racing guys. So there's definitely some preparation going on at this stage, as I'm trying to look out for a setup I already have, and I think from an older setup guide episode, I have just another copy here, which seems to be entirely broken in terms of numbers, so I probably have to start all over again. So set it rFactor defaults, put it full fuel, put it into race mode 1, and then I already get basic aerodynamic settings on. I won't talk too much about those settings. I'm currently just fiddling in because I already know from earlier sessions on that the car has some, well, not weird behaviors, but some behavior I already know. So I'm just trying to now get along with that. As I'm going for medium tires, since I think they will be the most useful around here. And yes, then we simply go, and I hope that I can do some nice progress in here. As the good thing that Robin is on here, I can have a good benchmark. Because Robin has done a very lot of testing on that car already. And for those guys who want to know, it's the version 0.65 of Marco Conti here being installed in the server. And those mirrors are in an interesting position when looking towards going around hairpins. Anyway, what I'm basically looking for today is a kind of race performance. So I really want to see car to behave in a good way for race. So yeah, exactly, stuff like that not to happen. Really snap oversteer here into Stowe corner, and probably have to see how this will go throughout the lap. I'll just go in for DRS for once to see whether the gearing is kinda okay. Yeah, that is the case. And I put it backwards on the on the engine mixture again, because basically in that car you have to run it 3 out of 5 in engine programs to some kind of easily make a full race distance. So full race distance here around Silverstone would be 52 laps. Oh, yeah, the car is a little bit too twitchy on turning entry. So yeah, Robert, you're right. The corner I was talking about was Cops rather than Stowe. Right, with that twitchiness going on, I'll probably put some different values on the setup. As I said, this is not really a setup guide today. So today I'm really looking forward to do some basic testing here and trying some things in order to really increase performance of the car. The server's quite crowded. Already 8 people on here, and if you guys want to join this race or this session, just feel free to do so. Open your rFactor 2, go www.formula-simracing.net and those definitely interesting, because you're not allowed to really burn those front tires. They will really scrub away like nothing. Happily the snap oversteer somewhat disappeared. So as Robert just has suggested in the chat here about the behavior of the car, that now is apparently a lot better. Before going on to a lap, probably just some little hints. Your setup will be very important during that year, and it will definitely be all about personal suiting of the set. So you should always be able to do some setup work for yourself. As I locked up with the front right into turn 3. That means putting backwards a little bit on the brake bias. Probably shouldn't do that mid-corner. And when going around the circuit here, I mean, I think you still saw that Cobb's also a little bit into stow. The rear end of the car is still a bit loosey on initial turn in, so probably have to look at fixing that. As I put in my first lap time, which is 1:35.3. Not pushing the car too hard anyway. As I lock up into turn 3 ever again, there's really some on-throttle understeer going on out of the slow corners. Maybe we'll have to look for a solution to fix that as well. I mean, generally in that kind of car you probably want to have a loosey rear somewhat, to give the car just a little bit more rotation. And it's very interesting that the tires are heating up so much during the corners there. Might be due to the heavy fuel load though. I mean, having 140 liters on board here. Kinda adds some weight to the car itself. And you guys, if you want me to do some setup changes or if you want me to test some setup suggestions of you, feel free to post. Feel free to put it in the chat and say, hey, how about using, I don't know, more wings or whatever. And then I'm probably gonna be willing to do that in order to increase performance of the car. The drivability of that car is definitely very good for a V6 engine. Just in that specific mode though. Not too sure whether it's different in other modes. Probably not in the more lean mixes. So going through those mixes quickly. That is wet weather mix, lean fuel mix, race 1. Then we have race 2 and maximum power. So those are the 5 available engine modes for races or for racing. Obviously they burn a different amount of fuel, but if you are racing in race mode 1, then you're gonna be fine for the race distance. As talking about the upcoming race there, on Sunday 4 PM GMT there will be an official pre-season test, which is open to everyone as far as I heard. So feel free to join. get this car today, do some laps here around Silverstone. We will be racing starting 4 PM GMT here around Silverstone, 50% race, so 26 laps. Race start will be 5 PM GMT, and then I think probably we are about done after an hour or something. So that test will really be important for the car devs to get some information on the car, get some various feedback on the drivers. Especially it's a good chance to test this car in race trim, whether overtaking will be possible or not, or difficult or easy. So that information definitely is vital for the devs to further develop the car to make it a good racing mod for a Formula Sim Racing 2018 season, which is about to start in March 2018, I think. So I really would appreciate to see one or two of you guys, or all you guys watching me here today, taking part in that race. As you can see, the server is quite crowded already, just for standard testing. So that's really something really good going on here. Shows that people care a lot on FSR in its current way. As I'm still going quicker and quicker lap by lap, and probably have turned this already into a into a race trim simulation to see when the tires are starting to fall off and so on. So that's kind of really important information for me here already. So we're into lap 7, right? Into lap number 8. We have done 2 laps before going out again, so that means we are in lap 6 of our current stint. And we got fuel left for just 49.5 laps, indicating to the fuel gauges. So, as I said, racing the car in race mode 1 is only just about enough. Like there's 3 liters to spare, so that gives me some kind of possibility to run higher engine modes throughout that race and make a little bit ground up on some drivers. But yeah, in the end it's very much about managing.
The lap was a 1:34.08.
Alright, Robert, since I told you that I am going to do some more testing according to your wishes here, let me just finish that lap. So I have like a little bit more decent data about these tires. Then I'm gonna apply your settings as wished. So a lower front anti-roll bar, a softer front bump, I think that was. We'll have to look in the chat as soon as I'm back into the pits. Which I'm probably just gonna do now. And yeah, as I said, nevertheless, where you're following me either on Twitch or here right on YouTube. Oh dear. So note to myself, don't hit that entry curb of I think that maggots that is. It will simply drag you away quite badly. I will definitely have to look after a way to fix the temperature of the car, of the front tires. As temperature of the car is a good good saying though. That can be turned down. So going towards setups, thread size 2. Just to see how mod responds, a few changes, a bit lower front anti-roll bar. So we lower that to 90. A softer front slow bump. Lower that to 10. And even more softer front slow rebound. So we probably lower that to 12. So the fast shocks is talking about fast rebounds and fast bump, I think. Nevertheless, I do not have too much knowledge here. Before some guys get confused. I will leave it to that, just to see what the changes will be like. Oh, Robert, I will talk to you tonight about using my telemetry. That's for sure. So from the first point of view, the front end is a much more stick to the ground, so I would say a lot more front end grip. I want to validate that through lap time though. Oops. So yeah, once again guys, if you want to race with us on the upcoming Sunday, feel free to get in the mod, get on the server, test with us here. I will do some testing tomorrow again. Just have a look into your YouTube feed and see when I've scheduled that event live. So then you can join me and test with me together here. So looking at the timesheet, you can see kind of different programs being run. The guy in the front definitely running some low fuel tests. I know that Robin often runs mid fuel tests, as I think because of being at the pits. There is some change in the brake balance. There you go. That suits me a lot better. Oops. Yeah, into the wall. So that change has really made the car somewhat more aggressive on the front end. That's for sure. So yeah, Simončić actually kinda asked an interesting question, and we'll just have a look towards that conversation going on in the chat. Well, I have to say that the bitrate is currently a bit up and down. It's showing 6,000 kilobytes seconds per second on upload. Should be a bit more higher soon again. Anyway, probably have to deal with that with it for a second, as I hope it clearly comes back to life. Anyway, so some furthermore suggestions here. Probably I will go down and a little bit softer in the rear end as well. The brake bias more to my liking on that. Be fair, no, I'm running it like that. That looks good. So going out again. Definitely now trying to make it consecutively into the 33s, as I have no clue whatsoever on what this race is going to be about in terms of lap times and lap performances. So, I think since it's Jene Simoncic watching here, first of all, thank you very much for joining. Always nice to see famous guests being on the stream. And since Robert has just replied to that question whether a car is, some sort of analyzable from Motec data. So, personal message to Jenny. Probably last year's car was bad then. Because I was completely in the dark when analyzing about dampers, despite my little knowledge about them anyway. So yeah, I mean, a lot of knowledge is out there in the web, so hopefully we be able to improve the outcome of the Formula Sim Racing 2018 car a bit more. As I'm going into the next little race simulation. Well, of course, Jenny, you're a multiple Formula Sim Racing race winner and kinda famous out in the web, I assume so. I really have to concentrate and like focus on not push the car too hard on the front axis. Oh, the car feels floating to there, so it's definitely better connected to the ground and giving more feedback than the Formula Renault on iRacing, but nevertheless the 2017 car and especially the 2016 car of FSR, which you probably should compare it the most, that was a little bit more responsive to my understanding. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like last year dumpers were, apart from Singapore because of the curbs, but other than that, so much useless, as you just said. Right, finishing the first lap of the stint, 134.0. So not into the 33s, but still some high weight going on. So I'm sure with some more hot and warmed up tires and some little less fuel in the car, times will go down. Thank you very much for your charming words, Dorian, and thank you very much for joining me on that stream. If you are eager to test those setup knowledge here on that car, feel free to join us here in the Formula Sim Racing server. They are public, open for everyone. For everyone interested, feel free to just join. As we're going faster than our personal best downhanger straight. Tire shape is looking better than in the stint before, if I have it right. So really this car is all about taking the speed through the exit of the corner rather than taking the speed into the corner there. So another 34.0. As you can see, going out faster out of that corner definitely helps. Going faster on the straight. That was probably a little bit too hard on Cobb's corner. Being around Beckett's Chapel. And then back on Hanger Straight. And last time I drove myself into Club, I think that is, the final section of this track. So trying to do that better this time around. Then probably I will go into final section a bit faster than before. There you go. Making it another 134.0.
That was a 134.05.
As some cars are joining ahead. Thanks for taking care of the car behind. Hey Govend, thank you also for joining me here on that stream. Yes, I kinda agree. I think a little bit more grip should be added. And probably still have to look about real life lap times to have some kind of comparison whether stuff is right or not. As tires are really screaming towards the end of that cornering sector here. Entering Hanger Straight. Outbroke myself into Club again. Or it's not Club, it's any other
The lap was a
corner.
134.44.
And I just got wide. So anyway, ending this little race trim try here. Don't go into the gravel on that track whatsoever. Thanks for your charming words, Robert. Really like that. Yeah, Govan, I agree. There should be a little more grip on the car itself. Like, I mean, turn 1 here in Silverstone is usually no issue doing it flat out, but it looked like a little bit more easy on real life car. Anyway, looking at the sets, what to still improve. And I still want to race more front wing at the front and putting more balance towards the front. So I soften stuff at the front still. What else can I do? Is anyone able to understand what that kind of settings are doing here on the chassis? Because I've never heard of them. I have no clue what they do. So if anyone has some kind of suggestion or explanation going on what this kind of stuff is doing, please help me. Still kind of new guys are joining here on that server, which is really nice. So a lot of people coming here testing with us. And I'm just trying to follow Joao Pitaes and see how it is to drive in that dirty air. If not spinning around here. So I think that's DRS enabled now. Yep, so DRS is working well. And I keep it just behind him for a second, and yeah, then see about the behavior of the car, whether those settings I did made it worse or actually good. Hey Show Gamer, very much congratulations on your first win with the Mazda. I think it's a special one because this series is kinda hard to win. Yeah, but despite whatever split he was racing on, coming from oval and going into those Mazda things is kinda good stuff to then win it at some point. So I have no DRS at the minute, and still feels like there's no dirty air whatsoever. Oh, sorry. Oh dear. So definitely the tire loses a lot of grip when heating them. I think it was a little too much front balance now. Right, I keep going with that for just a little while before then estimating differences on the tire compounds. So it means I'm gonna pull in some laps with that medium here before then swapping it to the soft and then going to the super soft and so on. So talking about roll center, it's some kind of geometry thing going on when setting up the car. That's what it seems like. So it's basically some kind of adjustment to locate the center of gravity on the car. Is that right? Yeah, sure, gamer. You're absolutely right. I contributed to a book which is currently being revised and even more improved. However, I did not contribute on every area, so I just picked out the spots where I really have some kind of good knowledge, or where I do think that my knowledge is applicable enough to sell it for public. But I think there's still some people, especially guys studying car mechanics, vehicle mechanics and vehicle techniques. I think they're even more able to explain about setups and about car behavior and all that stuff. But nevertheless, yeah, I contributed to that book, which soon will be available on our website at Avid Chronic Racing. As I said, it's just being revised and even further improved. So feel free to follow Avid Chronic Racing on the Facebook page, as said in the description. And then you will probably know as soon as it is published again for public. Oh, I still need to learn so much about the car and its behavior, but with that setting now, after 2 laps, I think I got the best tire wear on the session here. So despite it being a bit floaty in the rear, it seems to be a tiny bit faster than before. Which would surely be helpful. So first lap, 133.9. So a tiny little improvement, while not pushing the car further. Because, as I said, it's the tire wear that's been decreased, whereas the time's being improved. So that's definitely a sign of a better setup at all, and a better car balance, especially for looking at tire wear. Yeah, but the car is a lot more difficult to control as well. And just a little slide at the exit of the corner, making me lose more than a good 10th throughout the straight. Had a bad go through Cobb's corner here. Now I definitely overheated those front tires. Because I'm going to be attacked by Robin quite soon. I'm just trying to give him a hard time trying to overtake me. But there's probably some fuel weight difference going on anyway. Coming around final corner, setting in another 133.9. So as I said, I really hope you guys will join us here on Sunday in that pre-season test race. Very important race for the devs, for the teams, getting more familiar with a new kind of mod being used for the upcoming FSR 2018 season. As there will be kinda technical testing of new racing systems as well, I think. More internal stuff going on. But just saying that we are probably looking into some different type of racing from now on. We're coming around final corner, setting a 33.7.
The lap was a 1:33.77.
As you can see, it's really the exits where I gain on Robin Panzer, who's still driving behind me there. Now probably being under attack by Luke McGuire. So this year's everything about car exit or exit of the corner when trying to overtake. Oh, that was a graphical glitch. Right, and now I think I'm starting to push too hard for the front left tire in that stint again, as I'm really trying to keep the turning angle very small. coming around final corner, 33.9.
The lap was a
5-0.
1:30.95.
Nope. I was a little bit too wide there. I mean, this car is kind of difficult to drive on the one hand. On the other hand, it's still sort of easy to drive, like it's not that as aggressive as you would expect a Formula 1 car to be, a current one. So the devs really did a good job on the drivability of the car. However, driving it fast, or driving it clean and driving it fast will be two complete different things. And I think that the mod is kinda challenging. Need to have a very lot knowledge. Need to have a lot of cleverness when racing. Knowing when to push and when not to push. Need to have a lot of strategy games in your mind. As we come around final corner to put in a 0.6 this time.
The lap was a 1:33.66.
Oh, I was again a little bit too wide there. And I keep on driving and driving a little bit more now because I think this is lap number 6. But I really need to kinda evaluate this stint compared to the other stint in the very beginning of this testing session. Nevertheless, I just gonna add 1 or 2 more laps before then going to pits and get a fresh set of softs on the car to then evaluate the performance of the softs speed wise and tire wear wise. So will be the first time I will use the softs really. Looking forward racing them though. And another 1:33.6 coming up.
The lap was a
So kinda
1:33.64.
consistent lap times right now. Probably the low coast setting is now causing my mid-corner understeer when fully being off throttle. Oh dear, there you go. It was a bad mistake. No, sorry. Kind of difficult to stop the car in the grass, which is just about right though. So Robert, I think there's some entertaining going on, as it was in a train of 3. I'm not too sure about the tire pressure, since looking at the screen footage here, I mean, that looks like a flat tire really, either at the front or at the back. So either way you want to put it, find a flat tire being there. Well, Robert, what you changed towards the pump and the And the preload then, if saying not changing on the coast, as I quickly put on a set of softs, and I don't want to really go softer, as I fully agree with Robin at that conclusion. And I think that is just some sort of wrong, because those cars are massively wide, they are so big, and they're so aerodynamically advanced that following behind another car really should make a huge difference. Despite like that, you probably could be able to not use DRS throughout the season. However, I don't know whether this is the right way to go. Alright, Robert, I will try that for sure after this the set of options, or not options, but softs being tried. And then I will attack Luke's time. So Luke, what is your 1:30.0? So I maybe can have a go at that. Soft 60 liters, interesting. So anyway, taking this tire around the circuit now in race trim. It's so much more grip there available. Like turn 1 was so much easier to go through. Look at the speed difference just from putting on the soft tire. So actually there is your more grip. On the one hand you can say, yeah, that's pretty accurate, because the real life Formula 1 cars looked like driving like boats with a medium, and the hard was barely used at all during that season. On the other hand, you may want to say, if that is a speed difference between soft and medium, you don't want to look out for the speed difference between ultra soft and soft, or super soft and soft, and ultra soft, and all those other softs. So just from starting the first lap, comparing it to a 0.9 I did in the first attempt with a medium, half a second just by compound. And this was not even a good lap though. As you can see, I'm already 3/10 down. Yeah, I will stream that following race here on Sunday. That's for sure, I will definitely stream that, so tune in for the show. If you don't want to take part, maybe be part of the stream. Would appreciate it. That's for sure. So Cobb's Corner is almost flat out with full fuel, and that's just not right. So there's a little bit too much grip going on. So this year's car will definitely enable some strategy games going on.
That was a 1:32.77.
I'm not sure whether those lap times I just did are now very valid. Because on the one hand it's not too easy to push the car to make use of those tires, and on the other hand stay within the boundaries to not over push them. Nevertheless, tire wear is a tiny amount of bit more, like really noticeable. Anyway, before trying to make use of that set, I will fuel down the car and see my setup performance against Luke. What engine set? As to really compare lap times, you have to compare tires, fuel load, engine mode, and engine boost mode. But in engine boost mode, you should really have race or the R mode inside, because otherwise the engine will burn into flames after 10 laps or something. Race 2 or lean mix? Because 2 means lean mix and race 2 means 4, so that's this amount of power set being used. Well, Robert, really, I would encourage you to get on this mod, do some laps, and give feedback to the devs. Because yeah, on the one hand side, FSR wants to be realistic. On the other hand, it wants to be entertaining. I think at the current way the thing is, or this mod is, it's kinda entertaining, yes. But as you said, the realism is totally out of question. So I now will have a look into 60 liters, and the braking distances are so different right now. Oops. Easy turn 1, obviously. So purple sector 1 by 9 thousandths of a second. Well, that's not too bad. Will it be enough in the end though? That's the question. Wow. Hobbs corner is truly flat out in that setting. Even going through there with more power available on the car. As the green bar at the top needs to hit 2.7 seconds in the end to beat Luke McGuire here from P1. We're not gonna achieve that, I think. I was still trying to be too gentle on the tires and adapting to the new fuel load. However, next lap could be a whole different story. If not for that mistake, nah. Well, the real issue is, I think, a little bit down into suspension as well. For crying out loud. I just want to get a decent lap in now. And I think we should ask about having a little race at the end of that session. Just to have some little bit of fun driving. So you guys just don't see some random lapping here on the stream. So maybe if people want to do some 5-lap race, can do that to put in some more show. And now I clearly just want to try to beat Luke McGuire's lap time, so half a second still to find. Around the Silverstone circuit. The car was a little twitchy there. Now I'm trying to go flat out through Cobb's Corner. There you go. Yeah, I missed the apex. What I've heard from Marco Conti though is that the tires are totally redone and built from scratch. I think he noticed that himself, that these tires are probably for trash.
The lap was a 1:30.39.
So clearly want to see whether I got the chance to challenge that lap time, as I'm still missing 6/10. So trying to do Cobb's Corner flat out, version number 2. Okay, I had to push it too hard on the tires, but still it's possible. And I think you really have to put a question on that. Do you really want to have that? Hey William, thanks for joining me here on the show. Appreciate you guys are hanging around to see this FSR test further going on. So I think there was still some suggestion of Robert to increase the stiffness of the rear spring, the rear mainspring, which is exactly what I'm gonna do now. So Luke has improved on his 120 into the 129.7. So I simply gonna go increase the pump, as he said, and then increase the main spring rates. Not sure whether I really want to go to 120, so I put it 90 at first to see how the car feels. As I hope we do have a little race going on here, just 5 laps after the end of that session. Before then having the session restarted to go again. Oh, you can go so late there. So trying another go at flat out corpse corner with the new settings. Easy. Wow. Oh, that's breathtaking. How kinda easy that is to go around that corner flat out. And yeah, thank you very much, Robert. I think the rear spring was just about the setting I was looking for. So, Robert, I think your expertise is needed in that channel, not in that channel, in that server. Since people are trying to understand what Ackerman and all that stuff does there. So, trying another try here for that lap time. I think I go personal best in sector 1. It's a little bit too oversteery now. So, Corpse corner coming up. Easy. Carrying so much more speed. Oh, you can throw this car in those corners so badly right now. It's not close to being real whatsoever. As we're missing out just by a few thousandths, putting it into third position. And we spin around, so we barely keep it at that. Well, Robert, still, your knowledge is kind of proven a bit to me. So let's do 20 liters, race mode 1 on boost, and race 1 on power. DRS enabled. Just 5 laps. Soft compound maybe. And shaky. So there you go, tiny little race coming up. Hey Inyafas, thank you very much for joining in here. So the spring rate setting was good. I agree on that. Trying to go and reach out for Robin's lap time, and I don't know what's the pre-name of Wasienko. Hey Christian, sorry mate, I'm not gonna do that for sure. You may be able to tell me what he did to you, that you say such things, but I definitely won't do that. In general, I do not want to insult anyone doing some racing here. Some guys really need to learn how to be respectful to each other. I think we are all racers we're all a sportsman, so we should act like with a good sportsmanship. Yeah, not going to do such kind of activity at all, since I think it's purely wrong. You always can have your personal opinion on someone. That's pretty much alright, but I would advise to be respectful to everyone at all time. So yeah, feel free to tell me what happened, so everyone can imagine your anger or can understand it. But I definitely want to don't want to do that. Traffic ahead. Thanks for moving out of the way, while still being on the hunt for that top position. That was a good corner and I almost threw it away. Want to have a decent exit now. Bob's corner coming up. Can we take it flat out again? There you go. So carry that into the finish, please. That was a bad exit. That means I have to go for another lap probably. But I definitely will do that.
The lap was a 1:29.87.
I think also that soft tire needs a lap or two to really be lit and really be on temperature here. And that costs a kind a bit of time. Anyway, with a good stow corner. Oops. Well, not particularly good, but still. Yeah, as I expected to do such kind of stuff. Quickly want to disqualify myself in order to go from the really back. That's all I needed. And then we quickly go straight to race. So go straight to race. Get the voting. Oh, formation lap. They carry. So we will have some tiny little bit of racing going on. Keep it like that. All felt good. Then we're gonna see um, wanted to see for my doing 2 or 3 little test starts, so I know how to do on that start now. So stay stationary. That horn should be removed, that's for sure. A lot of glitching is going on there, so we're into launch control. We stay stationary and wait for the lights to come on. Thank you very much, William. Just a 5-lap race. Oh, this is 5 laps in default anyway, so that's good. Trying to get into that slipstream train ahead there. Side by side driving. And into 5th place. William, I tried one race doing Assetto Corsa sim racing system, which didn't go too bad. Could have been a lot better though. Nevertheless, that is a very good system, and I hope that it will also be accepted here for rFactor 2, since the system already exists for rFactor 2 sim racing system, but currently not too much people racing on it, which is a shame, because it enables great racing, fair racing. Joao Pitaes was doing a lot of that racing in sim racing system and really proved me that he is kind of good guy, as there is some hard wheel banging going on. Nope. Sorry. Oh, what a dive. Oh, that was unnecessary though. RIP. Ah, really? Don't go into a corner like that, man. Oh yeah, straight into the rear. Lost my rear wing there. I mean, yeah, anyway. So that is me being out of the race, and I clearly want to see a little bit of progress going on at other drivers here. So Luke is already down in a 29.3, as I still would like to go on. Yeah, Robert, it's interesting that you say that because this rating system or the competition system you talk about here for rFactor 2 being announced, I really want that to happen as well, since I do think it's gonna be really conquering iRacing there on the other side. So yeah, definitely looking forward to get some interesting stuff being presented by Studio 397. As I have to say, following in that car is a tiny bit too easy. I think you saw it, all the dirty airing going on. Some guys are out on Ultrasoft, so hacks confirmed. As I'm following Giuseppe Saracchiano a bit, Saracchino. And I maybe want to see how this dirty air is affecting his car. As far as I can see, not at all. Yeah, William, it is what it is. I mean, it's part of racing to, don't want to say get taken out, but to have accidents like this. So definitely some kind of bad things going on in racing sometimes. Nevertheless, as I said, be respectful to the other guy. If you know it's your fault, go ahead, say sorry. The other guy will surely appreciate it. I mean, you will have to expect some anger, that's for sure. Because getting taken out really is driving your mind and is driving your heartbeat. Nevertheless, I personally always appreciate it, and I mean, if lessons are learned and it doesn't happen twice, then yeah, I think it's good to get along with that. Yeah, Robert, you might just be right. I really hope that this is the case, and yeah, then we see some nice activity on rFactor 2, hopefully. Anyway, guys, with this race going to end in just about 2 or 3 minutes, I want to close that here. Really, I want you guys to join and be around on Sunday, 18th December 2017. The program will start on 4 p.m. GMT. For the guys from America, that will be, if I'm not mistaken, 8 a.m. in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. So, it's kind of a bit early for Sunday, but definitely there will be some interesting stuff going on. And I don't hope it's gonna be that kind of stuff here. So anyway, there is a lot of good things happening right here, so I really hope you guys join me. Race start will be 5 p.m. GMT, so 9 a.m. No, it's wrong. 5? Yeah, it's right. Sorry, 5 p.m. GMT, which is 9 a.m. in the morning in Pacific Standard Time, which will be just the time where Sean is usually live with his SimPit news. Great stuff there as well. So yeah, I hope you guys join me in the race. Join me tomorrow for some practice, so really follow my YouTube channel here to get the latest update. Yeah, sorry about that, Peter. It's definitely the 17th of December. You're right. As we see, battling for the, can't even say what position it is at the minute, but Zarov takes it. So nice stuff. Join us here, join us in Formula Sim Racing, join us in that test race, test the mod, give feedback, and we will greatly appreciate that. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching in here. I will still be around to answer some questions for a few minutes time, and yeah, I hope to see you guys soon here. wish you a nice weekend, and yeah, hope to see you soon back. Thank you very much for watching here. See you.